Family skipped my gallery opening for my brother's dinner, so I exposed their lies. They lost all. I gained my freedom and success. My hands trembled slightly as I folded the last one. A simple card with elegant script announcing my art gallery opening. It wasn't just an event. It was my dream. Years of late nights sketching, scraping by on freelance gigs, and pouring every dime into this moment. Tonight, my work would hang on those walls, lit by warm spotlights, a testament to everything I'd fought for. I'd invited my family, mom, dad, and my older brother, Lucas, hoping they'd finally see me, not just as the quiet middle child, but as someone who'd made something of herself. But as I stared at my phone, the screen blank of any reply, a familiar dread coiled in my chest. I'd texted them weeks ago. Gallery opening this Friday. Means the world if you're there. Mom had replied with a vague, "We'll see, Lena, busy time." Dad hadn't bothered, and Lucas, the family's golden boy, sent a thumbs-up emoji that felt more like a brush-off. I'd brushed it off too, telling myself they'd show up. They had to, right? This wasn't some school play they could skip. It was my career, my heart on display. But the silence gnawed at me, and by noon, with no word, I called Mom. The line rang twice before her voice came through, clipped and distracted. "Lena, what's up?" "I'm in the middle of something." I swallowed, gripping the phone. "Just checking if you're coming tonight. The gallery opening?" A pause, then a sigh. "Oh, honey, I forgot to tell you. Lucas has a big client dinner. We're all going to support him. You understand, don't you?" My stomach dropped, the room tilting slightly. "His dinner's tonight?" I asked, voice small. "Yes, some huge deal. He's sealing it with the firm's top investors. It's a family thing." Her tone was casual, like she hadn't just dismissed my life's work. "But my opening, it's tonight too. I told you months ago." Another sigh, heavier this time. "Lena, we can't split ourselves in two. Lucas needs us. This could set him up for years. Your little art thing, we'll catch the next one." The words hit like a slap. Little art thing. I stared at the invitations, my throat tightening. "Okay." I managed, hanging up before she could hear me crack. I sank onto the couch, the invitations blurring through tears I refused to let fall. Lucas, the lawyer, the star, his dinners, promotions, and fancy condo always trumped me. Growing up, it was Lucas aced his LSATs, while my sketchbooks got a pat on the head and a "that's nice, Lena." I'd worked twice as hard, funding my own way through art school, never asking for a dime, while they'd paid Lucas's tuition, bought him suits, bragged about his corner office. I wasn't jealous. I was proud of him once. But this? Choosing his dinner over my opening, after I'd begged them to care, felt like they'd erased me. My phone buzzed. Jess, my best friend and gallery co-owner. "You ready?" "Setup's almost done." Her voice was bright, pulling me back. "Yeah." I lied, wiping my eyes. "Be there soon." I stood, smoothing my dress, a simple black number I'd saved for, determined not to let them ruin this. Jess didn't need to know my family had bailed. She'd see through me anyway. At the gallery, the space hummed with energy. Paintings hung, lights adjusted, caterers arranging trays. Jess hugged me, her curly hair bouncing. "This is it, Lena, your night." I forced a smile, nodding. "Let's make it amazing." Guests trickled in, friends, local artists, a few critics I'd dreamed of impressing. The room filled with chatter, clinking glasses, and gasps at my work, vibrant landscapes and raw portraits that bared my soul. I mingled, shaking hands, soaking in praise, but my eyes kept darting to the door. Maybe they'd surprise me. Maybe Mom had lied to test me. But as the clock ticked past 8, the truth settled. They weren't coming. Jess caught me staring, her brow furrowing. "You okay?" I nodded, too quick. "Just tired." She didn't buy it, but before she could press, my phone buzzed. A photo from Lucas. There he was, grinning in a suit, Mom and Dad flanking him at a sleek restaurant, wine glasses raised. Caption: "Big win tonight. Family support seals the deal." My breath caught. The room fading as rage surged, hot and unfamiliar. They hadn't just skipped. They were celebrating him, posting it for the world to see, while I stood here alone. Jess peeked over my shoulder, her jaw dropping. "Are you kidding me? They dished you for that." I shoved the phone in my pocket, my voice tight. "Apparently, I'm not worth the drive." Jess's eyes flashed, but a guest interrupted, a critic raving about my centerpiece painting. I plastered on a smile, autopilot kicking in, but inside, something snapped. Years of being the afterthought, the one who didn't complain, who let Lucas shine, boiled over. They thought I'd take this quietly, like always. They were wrong. After the last guest left, Jess locked up, turning to me. What now? I stared at the empty gallery, my work glowing under the lights. They think this is nothing. I'll show them it's everything. The next day, I didn't call them. No texts, no guilt trips, just silence. I poured myself into the gallery's aftermath. Thank you emails, press inquiries, while a plan brewed. Lucas's big win wasn't just a dinner. It was a stepping stone with his firm's elite clients, people who valued reputation above all. Mom and Dad lived for that world. Status, connections, the perfect family image. I'd always been the odd one out, the artist they tolerated but never understood. But I wasn't powerless. Jess came over that night, pizza in hand, her eyes sharp. You've got that look, spill it. I paced, the photo still burning in my mind. They've dismissed me my whole life. Lucas gets the spotlight, I get scraps. This time, they humiliated me publicly. Jess nodded, chewing thoughtfully. So what's the move? I stopped, meeting her gaze. Lucas's firm. They're all about integrity, right? What if those clients knew the family propping him up isn't so perfect? Her grin widened. You're going nuclear. I shook my head. Not nuclear, honest. They chose his dinner over me. Let's see how they like the truth. We dug in, Jess scouring social media, me pulling old messages. Lucas had bragged about family backing to climb the ladder, but I'd funded more than they admitted. $500 for his bar exam prep, $200 for networking drinks, all while they claimed I'd figure it out on my own. Jess found posts, Mom gushing about Lucas's success, Dad posing with him at firm events, no mention of me. They've built this myth, she said, and you're the ghost. I nodded, resolve hardening. Then let's haunt them. I called Marcus, a freelance journalist friend who'd covered my opening. Got a story, I said, voice steady. My family skipped my gallery debut for my brother's deal. Think it's worth a look? He paused, intrigued. If there's dirt, I'm in. What's the angle? Reputation, I said. They're not who they pretend to be. He chuckled. Send me what you've got. I did, photos, texts, a timeline of their neglect. It wasn't revenge, it was exposure, and I'd make sure they felt it. Update 2. The week after the gallery opening dragged like wet paint on a canvas. Slow, heavy, deliberate. I didn't reach out to my family, letting the silence stretch, a quiet rebellion against their dismissal. My phone stayed dark. No apologies, no excuses, just the echo of Lucas's smug photo from that dinner. Mom, Dad, and him, toasting his success while my night faded into their background noise. I threw myself into the gallery, framing reviews, scheduling follow-ups, but the hurt festered, sharpening into something colder, more focused. They'd chosen him, again, and I was done swallowing it. Jess kept me grounded, her energy a lifeline. She'd crash at my place after shifts, poring over our growing pile of evidence, screenshots, bank records, anything to prove their hypocrisy. Look at this, she said one night, sprawled on my rug, laptop glowing. It was a firm newsletter, Lucas beaming with a rising star headline, Mom quoted. Family supports everything to him. I snorted, bitterness rising. Support? I paid his way while they ignored me. Jess nodded, tapping her screen. That's the crack. His whole image hinges on this perfect family lie. Marcus called the next day, his voice buzzing with excitement. Lena, this is gold. I dug into Lucas's firm. Big clients, old money, obsessed with optics. Your family's playing the wholesome unit card hard. I leaned against my kitchen counter, cradling the phone. What did you find? Posts, interviews. Your parents prop him up like saints. No mention of you. Though, convenient, huh? My jaw tightened. They've erased me. He hummed. Not for long. I'm pitching this to an editor. Family favors. Rising lawyer's secret cost. You cool with that? I glanced at my paintings, stacked against the wall. Proof I wasn't nothing. Yeah, run it. The story dropped 2 days later, a local arts blog first, then picked up by a bigger outlet. Marcus framed it sharp but fair. Lucas's ascent, built on family hype, shadowed by their neglect of me. A working artist who'd funded their golden boy while they skipped her breakthrough. My name glowed in print, tied to the gallery's buzz, while their absence at my opening painted them hollow. Comments exploded, Some praised my hustle. Others ripped Lucas's privileged climb. I watched it spread, a slow burn lighting up my phone, but my family stayed silent. They hadn't seen it yet, or didn't care. That changed by Friday. Mom called, her voice tight. "Lena, what's this article?" "People are talking." Lucas's colleagues saw it. I sat on my couch, legs crossed, voice calm. "Good. Maybe they'll ask why you ditched my opening for his dinner." She sputtered. "It's not like that. We had to be there." "Had to," I echoed dry. "But not for me." A pause. Then, "You're making us look bad." I laughed sharp. "You did that yourselves." She hung up, and I knew the storm was coming. Lucas texted next. "Lena, what's your problem?" "This is messing with my work. Call it off." I stared at the screen, his entitlement blazing through. "No." I typed, hitting send. He called immediately, voice low, furious. "You're jealous. Always have been. Stop this before it gets worse." "Jealous?" I snapped. "I paid for your suits, your prep courses, while you got the spotlight. I'm done being invisible." He scoffed. "You're exaggerating. It's just art." "Just art." The words ignited me. "Tell that to your clients when they ditch you," I said, ending the call. Jess burst in an hour later, eyes wild. Hitting their circle, Lucas's firm's chatter is everywhere. She showed me a private forum leak, lawyers questioning his family values pitch, clients whispering about optics. "They're rattled," she said, grinning. "Your move worked." I nodded, but my chest tightened. This wasn't just about them feeling it. I wanted them to see me, to regret. Dad called then, his gruff tone cutting through. "Lena, this nonsense stops now. You're hurting Lucas's career. And you hurt me." I shot back. "Where were you when I needed you?" Silence. Then, "We're a family. Act like it." "You first," I said, hanging up. The backlash grew. Social media turned brutal, tagging Lucas, Mom, Dad in posts about fake support. A client tweeted, "Integrity matters. Disappointing to see this." I didn't expect it to hit so fast, but their world thrived on perception, and I'd cracked it. Jess and I planned the next step. Lucas's firm hosted an annual gala next week. Bigwigs, press, the works. "We go public there," I said, pacing. A statement, short, true, right where they can't ignore it. Jess nodded. "They'll hate it." "Good," I said, resolve hardening. I spent days drafting it, every word a brushstroke, painting their neglect in stark lines. My family chose my brother's dinner over my gallery opening, after years of my support. I'm done being their shadow. Marcus got me a press pass through a friend. Nothing fancy, just enough to slip in. My family's calls ramped up. Mom pleading, "Lena, think of Lucas." Dad barking, "You're selfish." Lucas threatening, "I'll sue if you don't stop." I ignored them, my silence louder than their noise. The night before the gala, I couldn't sleep. My apartment felt too small, the walls pressing in with what-ifs. What if they twisted it? What if I lost more than I gained? Jess stayed over, sprawled on my couch, her voice steady. "They've got no defense, Lena. This is your truth." I clutched a mug of tea, staring at my paintings. "I just want them to feel it, like I did." She nodded. "They will. You're not alone in this." Gala night arrived, crisp and electric. I wore a simple dress, dark green, understated, my press pass clipped on. Jess drove, parking a block away from the venue, a gleaming hotel ballroom. Through the windows, I saw them, Mom in pearls, Dad in a tux, Lucas schmoozing clients, all smiles. My heart pounded, but I felt steady, like the calm before a brush hits canvas. "Ready?" Jess asked, squeezing my hand. I nodded. "Let's do it." Inside, the air buzzed. Champagne flutes, laughter, power in tailored suits. I slipped through, unnoticed, until I reached the press corner. Marcus met me, his notepad out. "You sure?" he whispered. I handed him my statement. "Read it loud." He nodded, stepping to a mic set up for announcements, his voice cutting through. A quick word from Lena Carter, local artist, sister to Lucas Carter. Heads turned, murmurs rising. My family froze. Mom's glass midair, Dad's jaw tight, Lucas's smile faltering. Marcus read, "My family chose my brother's dinner over my gallery opening, after years of my support, financially, emotionally, while they built his success. I'm done being their shadow. This is my story, not theirs." The room went silent, then erupted. Whispers, gasps, phones snapping photos. Lucas pushed through, face red. Lena, stop this. I met his gaze, unflinching. You stopped me first. Mom rushed over, hissing, You're embarrassing us. I smiled cold. You embarrassed yourselves. Clients stared, reporters scribbled, and I saw it. Their perfect image cracking. I didn't stay. Jess pulled me out, the night air hitting my face as we ran to the car. That was insane. She laughed, breathless. I exhaled, the weight lifting. It's not over. Back home, my phone lit up. Texts, calls, fury from them. I ignored it, watching the story spread online. Headlines, clips, my words echoing. They'd feel this, and I'd make sure it stuck. Update 3. The gala's aftermath hit like a tidal wave, crashing through my family's carefully built world. The ballroom's stunned silence had given way to chaos as I'd walked out. Reporters shouting questions, guests whispering, Lucas's clients exchanging uneasy glances. Jess drove us home, her laughter filling the car, but I sat quiet, my pulse still racing. I'd done it, stood in their spotlight, and turned it on them. My phone buzzed nonstop, Mom's pleas, Dad's threats, Lucas's rage, but I let it ring, savoring the shift. For once, they weren't in control. By morning, the story was everywhere. Marcus's piece hit online, paired with gala footage. My statement clear, my family shock frozen in pixels. Artist exposes family's neglect at gala, screamed one headline. Rising lawyer's image tarnished, read another. Social media erupted. Some called me brave, others petty, but the truth cut through. Lucas's family support was a lie, and I'd paid for it. Jess crashed on my couch, scrolling updates. Clients are tweeting. Trust matters. Disappointing optics. They're rattled, Lena. I nodded, sipping coffee, the bitter taste matching my mood. Good. Mom called first, her voice shrill. Lena, this is a disaster. Lucas's boss called him in. Clients are pulling back. Fix this. I leaned against my counter, voice flat. Fix what? You skipping my opening? You using me? She sputtered. We didn't mean, Lucas needed us. And I didn't. I snapped. You chose him, live with it. She hung up, and I knew she'd try again. Lucas texted. You've ruined me. Hope you're happy. I wasn't, not yet. Dad's voicemail came next, gruff and furious. You've gone too far, Lena. Stop this or else. Or else what? They had nothing left to hold over me. The fallout deepened. Lucas's firm issued a vague statement about personal matters, but whispers grew. A major client canceled a meeting, citing values misalignment. Jess found a leaked email, Lucas's boss questioning his credibility. They're scrambling, she said, grinning. Your turn. I nodded, but doubt crept in. I'd wanted them to see me, not just collapse. Was this enough? My paintings stared back from the walls, a reminder of what they'd dismissed. No, this wasn't over. Lucas showed up that afternoon, banging on my door. I opened it, arms crossed, his suit rumpled, eyes wild. Lena, call it off. Tell them you lied. I laughed dry. I didn't lie, you did. Family support? I paid your way while you took the credit. He stepped closer, voice low. You're jealous. Always have been. I worked for this. And I didn't. I shot back. I built my gallery alone. You had them. Now they're useless, and you're mad at me. His jaw clenched, fists balling. You'll regret this. He stormed off, and I shut the door, heart pounding but steady. Mom tried next, showing up unannounced, pearls gleaming, face pinched. Lena, please, we're sorry. Lucas might lose everything. I stood in my doorway, unmoved. You're sorry now? Where were you when I begged you to come? He wrung her hands. We didn't think it mattered that much. It mattered to me, I said, voice breaking despite myself. Her eyes softened, but I saw the calculation beneath. Help us fix it for family. I shook my head. You're not my family anymore. She left, defeated, and I locked the door, tears stinging but unshed. The press kept digging. Marcus texted. Found more. Your parents bragged about raising a star in old interviews. No mention of you. I sent him the go-ahead, and the next piece dropped. Carter family's one-sided support. It included my transfers, $1, $200 total over years. Proof I'd propped Lucas up while they ignored me. Social media turned vicious. Lucas tagged in memes. Mom and Dad mocked as fake cheerleaders. A client publicly dropped him, citing trust issues. Their perfect image shattered, piece by piece. Jess and I watched it unfold, My apartment a war room of pizza boxes and laptops. They're done, she said, scrolling. Lucas's gala speech about family values is trending for all the wrong reasons. I nodded, but my chest ached. I'd wanted accountability, not annihilation. Was this justice or spite? My phone buzzed. Lucas's boss, a number I didn't expect. Lena Carter? This is David Klein. We need to talk. I froze, Jess mouthing, what? I answered, cautious. Yes. Your brother's in trouble. Clients are bailing. That gala stunt, it's a mess. His tone was clipped, professional. I didn't plan a mess, I said. I told the truth. A pause. I get it, family stuff's messy. But Lucas's narrative's crumbling, and it's costing us. What's your endgame? I hesitated, glancing at Jess. I wanted them to see me, not ruin him. He sighed. Too late for that. He's on thin ice. Keep it quiet now, or it's over for him. The call ended, and I sank onto the couch, conflicted. Jess frowned. What's wrong? You won. Did I? I asked, voice soft. They're falling apart, but I'm still empty. She squeezed my shoulder. They made this bed, Lena, not you. I nodded, but the weight lingered. That night, Mom texted, Lucas might get fired. Please stop this. We'll do anything. I stared at it, their desperation stark. I didn't reply, letting it sit, a test of my resolve. The next day, a courier dropped off a letter, Lucas's handwriting. Lena, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. I took them for granted too. Help me fix this. I read it twice, the words raw, maybe real. But I remembered his sneer, just art, and set it aside. Jess found me staring at it. You buying this? She asked. No, I said. Too late. She nodded. Then what? I stood, pacing. They think I'll fold. I won't. I'll push harder. I called Marcus. One more piece. Focus on Lucas's apology, how it's only after he's caught. He whistled. Ruthless. I like it. The article hit. Late regrets. Lawyer's plea falls flat. And the backlash doubled. Clients pulled contracts. The firm distanced itself, and Lucas's rising star dimmed. Mom called, sobbing. He's done, Lena. You happy now? No, I said, honest. But you chose this. She hung up, and I exhaled, the fight draining from me. That night, alone, I sat by my paintings, tracing the brushstrokes. I'd made them feel it, their neglect, their lies, but the victory felt hollow. Jess crashed over, sensing my mood. You did what you had to, she said, firm. They didn't. I nodded, clutching a canvas. I know, but it's not enough. I need them to understand, not just lose. She grinned. Then we're not done. I smiled, faint but real. They'd underestimated me, and I'd keep proving them wrong. Update 4. Weeks rolled by, and my family's world collapsed in slow motion, a canvas tearing thread by thread. Lucas lost his job. The firm cut him loose after clients fled. Their values excuse a thin veil for self-preservation. Mom and Dad's social circle shrank, their brunches and golf outings replaced by whispers and cold shoulders. They sold their oversized house, moving to a modest condo, their status stripped bare. I watched from my apartment, news alerts pinging, Jess updating me with gleeful texts. Another client bailed. Your brother's toast. I didn't cheer, just nodded, the weight shifting but not lifting. Mom tried again, a voicemail thick with tears. Lena, we're sorry. Lucas is broken. We're broke. Help us, please. I listened, finger hovering over delete, then saved it, a reminder of their desperation. Dad texted, You've ruined us. Happy now? Fix this. I stared at it, their gall unchanged. Lucas sent a letter, longer this time. I messed up. Lena, I didn't see you, didn't care. I'm paying for it. Give me a chance. I read it, his words softer, maybe sincere, but too late. I tucked it away, unresolved. Jess threw a victory night, pizza, wine, her grin wide. You did it, Lena. They're done. I clinked my glass, forcing a smile. Yeah. She caught my tone, frowning. What's wrong? You won. I sighed, swirling my drink. I wanted them to see me, not just fall apart. She nodded, thoughtful. They see you now. Too bad it took this. I leaned back, staring at my ceiling. Maybe. The gallery thrived, sails up, press glowing, but the hole lingered, a quiet ache I couldn't paint over. Social media slowed, Lucas vanished online, Mom and Dad's posts stopped. Cousins texted, They're a mess. Lucas drinks too much. Your parents fight nonstop. I didn't reply, focusing on my work, my life. Then, a month later, I saw Mom at the market, grayer, thinner, her pearls swapped for a plain scarf. She froze, eyes darting, then approached. "Lena," she whispered, voice raw. "We're so sorry. I didn't know how much it hurt you." I studied her, the mother I'd craved approval from, now small. "You didn't want to know?" I said, pushing my cart past. She didn't follow, and I didn't look back. Lucas showed up next, unannounced, at the gallery. I was framing a piece when he walked in, suit gone, jeans wrinkled, eyes sunken. "Lena," he started, hands in pockets. "I'm not here to fight." I set the frame down, wary. "Then why?" He exhaled, shaky. "I lost everything. Job, friends, them. I didn't get it. How I hurt you. I'm sorry." His voice broke, and I saw it. Regret. Real this time. "You didn't care until it hit you," I said, steady. He nodded, head low. "I know. I don't expect forgiveness. Just, I see you now." He left, and I stood there, the door clicking shut, my chest tight. Dad's turn came via a letter, short, scrawled. "Lena, we failed you. I'm ashamed. Don't know how to fix it." I read it by my window, city lights flickering outside. No pleas, just admission, a first. I folded it, joining the others in a drawer, a gallery of their remorse. Jess crashed over that night, sensing my mood. "They're groveling," she said, popping a soda. "You buying it?" I shrugged. "It's real, too late, though." She nodded. "Your call." Life settled. Gallery buzzing. New commissions rolling in. I took a trip with Jess. Coastal town, salt air, no shadows. Holding a sketchbook by the sea, I felt free, my future mine. Back home, Mom called again. "Can we see you? Meet your world." I paused. Noah's coos in my mind. My unborn son from the last story. A symbol here of what I'd built. "Maybe," I said. "Not now." She accepted it, quiet. And I hung up. No rush to mend what they'd broken. They'd chosen Lucas's dinner over me, thinking I'd stay quiet. I didn't. I exposed them, watched their empire fall, and walked away stronger. Justice wasn't loud. It was this. My art, my life, untouched by their wreckage. They begged, but I moved forward, free.